Welcome everyone to Never Ready Remastered episode 19. I'm here with Jose's, Al and Lee. And I believe that's it.
Yep,
I guess so.
Show.
Echo.
Is that echoing?
No, I was just messing around.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys were silent for a bit, so I was just going like, echo.
Hey, like I said, I'm going to be muting myself constantly, so you have to give me a minute every single time.
It's about time, instead of us muting you half the time.
Seriously.
I'm doing it myself now. So, yeah.
I mean, as you can tell, everyone, we're in a pretty depressive state of mind, considering...
No, that's only you and I.
Yeah.
George is flying high right now.
Well, I don't care either way. I hope for them to do good. It's just,
No, you don't. Listen.
Let's be real here, George.
You're not abiding by internet rules. All right.
I don't care.
You have to pick a side.
You have to pick a side, and you have to hate the other one, regardless of what they do.
Or how it benefits all of us in general.
Exactly.
Yeah, but see, I got to check on Lee's schedule half the time. What is he hating this week? Then I can hit the other.
It's like, what does he like this week? Let's see.
So I could do the opposite.
Yeah.
No, hello. We have to return the favor back to you, bro. Come on.
He likes Ghost this week. Yeah, that Ghost of Tsushima sucks.
As he's playing it.
How many hours you put in? Like 40 hours. It sucks.
It's trash, man. I fucking called out of work twice now. The game's terrible.
I platinumed that game. That game sucks.
New game plus, and I'm still finding new shit. Fuck, this shit's trash.
So, do you guys want to just real quick talk about what we've been playing a little bit? And because to me, I've been playing the same thing as last week. I haven't moved from that game.
So.
Let me start off first, since I'm technically I just did a full dive into the PC, and I'm actually playing other games. I necessarily wasn't proud of myself for picking Skyrim as the first game I started on the PC, but hey, I put over 200 mods in that bitch, and it still runs. So, joke's on you, bastards. So I ended up getting swallowed up by pretty much the little Milsim community. My entire wish list is full of games that consist of shooting, but big boy shooting, not Call of Duty shooting. I wish Pedro was here so I can make fun of him. But so with Squad, although it took me about 3 hours to actually get working, it was only because it never made sense to begin with. How could audio quality possibly be the thing that stops my computer from running it? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, the thing is about PC gaming, it doesn't always happen, but sometimes it'll be a specific bug or something that's blocking you. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the game runs like trash. My computer should run it. And then sometimes it's just turn the textures from high to low and then restart the game, then it should work. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then you go back and switch it back to high and it should work.
So I'm playing on the highest qualities except for the sound qualities. Everything is pretty much high except for, I believe, shadows and something else there. Actually, let me take a quick peek. But that's about it. After discovering the fact that the audio is what was fucking everything. The epic, if the quality is put to epic, it shits on itself. But everything else effects is on high, view distance is on epic, shadows is on medium, textures is on epic. There's really I don't know how it took me so long for the game to actually start. But it's
I
fun.
wonder if the sound processing goes to the CPU or something in that game, so it's super taxing because they have some insane audio tech. Maybe I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised because I'm pretty sure they have some type of system to how 3D audio, but to the max. If a bullet pops from over here, you'll hear the snap of the bullet going right by you, and then followed by the actual pop of the gun from the distance. So there's a lot of like realism, a lot of illusion a lot of math that's being equipped.
Yeah. So if there's if it is audio simulation, that's a problem. Yeah, that could be very taxing on the CPU. Any sort of simulation or anything that has to do with math, that's insanely taxing on.
I'm having a feeling that that's what it end up being. But then I've been trying other games like Insurgency, and that's like a good fun game. Which again, that's something that I feel like console games are kind of missing, like the milsim. But that actually works on a fucking console, because to me, Call of Duty's been Call of Duty for the last fucking 15 years. Battlefield has been Battlefield for the last 10 years. To me, the last Battlefield that was actually fun, that felt good when you were playing it, was 4. 4 was the last one for me that I could go in, doesn't matter what squad, with who I was playing, and it was fun to play from start to beginning, because I knew I could either, I wasn't the nastiest, I wasn't the worst, but I can go in not knowing a single map, but it would flow the way it would flow properly. If it was a siege match, it wouldn't be this completely bloated ass map where it's 40 versus 40 on console, or even less. And let's say it is 80 max, 40 versus 40, but the map is so fucking huge that there's only 3 people per little groups of pockets of areas. So you're not feeling the full engagement of a giant battlefield, of this giant war with a line that you have to fight in order to get across. It's all these shooters, these first person shooters, still feel like they're putting 25 cents a pull.
Yeah, I Battlefield 4, I played it on PC back in the day, but I remember when it came out, that game was broken. The online wouldn't work.
I think by the time I played it, it was I don't know. I can't say that it was perfect, but if there was bugs, they were at least fleshed out. What suffered in Battlefield 4, I believe, the most was the balancing. The balancing was pretty tough in certain maps, and just joining in a session to begin with. Before you knew it, it's like a landslide. All the best players on the opposite team, and you could just feel it. In squad, though, all it takes is for 1 or 2 bad squads in general, that they're just not really focusing on what to do, and that can change the entire course of the match. It's not as sudden as Call of Duty. At least in Call of Duty, you can tell when you're losing, but you can generally, if you're with a squad, if you're with a team, you can then choose as a team to decide to turn it around. Slow things down, attack together, move around, stop feeding them. All these different choices in Call of Duty that you can do in a snap before it's too late. In a game like Squad, if you can't relay the information throughout the different teams, chances are it'll be too late. The enemy force will push on one side and steamroll either the weaker squads or the squads that don't know that are coming. That don't know that they're coming, because the information hasn't made it down the chain.
Also,
which is really cool.
Very team oriented.
Very.
I mean, it is called Squad.
Yeah, there you go. But I think that's same thing with a game like Insurgents, and the next game I'm gonna buy Hell Let Loose, and Postscriptum, where I'm gonna
Jesus
do a little
Christ,
bit more
you're going fucking full
yes.
hardcore PC gamer.
I mean, sort of. I mean, if the consoles ain't gonna do it for me, I'm gonna try to find something, more or less. But the thing is, this is kind of one genre. This is still one niche, milsim, fucking. I'm still within the Call of Duty bounds, more or less. but it's filled in better. It feels better, which is what that's like the point that I'm trying to make, where the developers should see what these games are doing and try to fit it in the console market, because I guarantee there's people that want it. There are people that go on YouTube and go on Twitch on their Xbox and see these games and go, damn, I can't wait till there's something like this on Xbox. I can't wait till there's something like this on PlayStation. But it's a long way out. Sorry, guys. And Xbox is the closest thing that's going to get something with Insurgency. But even then, that's more like co-op-ish. It's really streamlined. It's very go, 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 go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would see Xbox doing something like that, because they've been seeming to bring a lot more PC stuff over. I don't know if you guys saw, but today there was some like rumor going around that Xbox Brazil they rated World of Warcraft. So on Xbox.
What does that mean?
Usually when you rate something, it's because it's coming to your platform. So.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting, having WoW on consoles. That's the first time.
Yeah, I mean, but why'd it take so long as well? It's like these like flagship PC games should be hopping or making their way shadow dropped onto. Now, I wouldn't say shadow drop, because it'd be a shame if all of a sudden WoW drops on the game store and no one notices, type of shit. But it's just weird that there's not this like this more like handshake feel between PC and Xbox, where we should be seeing.
It's happening. It's happening more now.
It still feels weird. I still feel like the certain games, like especially like the older ones, they should be on the PC Xbox marketplace already. Games that have been out that have made a shit ton of money on the Xbox Game Store should be allowed on the Xbox Game PC Store, which is a mouthful.
I know what you're saying, but a lot of the time it's not because they don't want to put it there. It's because, they don't want to put it there. It's because they don't feel like they'll make money. Like most people buy PC games on Steam. The only reason anybody turns on the Game Store and Xbox on the Windows Store is because of Game Pass. That's the only thing that's made it viable. Like, dude, Call of Duty, which is one of the biggest things ever launched in like Infinite Warfare back in the day on PC, on Windows Store, and it didn't do anything. Because the PC gamer is already accustomed to their thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that marketplace.
Yeah. And in the Windows Store, there's like the ecosystem on there is so broken. You know what I mean? Steam, people already have communities there. Everything's already years built out.
Yeah.
Not on that, but I mean now Xbox or Microsoft has put a lot of emphasis on the PC. You can see now the fruits of their labor now.
Or at least the seedlings of it, pretty much.
Yeah, it's starting. Yeah, because the thing is, remember, games from before, it's not like they could just put it on there. All that stuff has to get relicensed, everything all over again for that store. You know what I mean? Like, it's a process, and a lot of games are not going to do it. Like, now we're going to spend that money if nobody's going to buy it. The only way if it's Microsoft's going to give us a ton of money to put it on Game Pass. That's about it. But because again, if you're gonna get it, you got it on Steam. But you guys want to continue on? You also been playing Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. I'll put it down for a little bit because I'm getting close to the end, and then the last stretch. You don't want it to end? I don't want it to end. But then the last stretch is like, okay, I kind of get where this. I kind of know where this is going, and I'm getting depressed type of shit. Like is it a spoil? Is it spoilers if you guess something and it ends up being true?
Like if who guessed something?
If I guess something in the game and then it ends up being right, is it still spoilers?
I don't know. It just seems like you guessed it right.
I think we're gonna end up fighting our uncle type of shit. The dude in the beginning and type of shit, the way that it goes and stuff like that. The point that I'm at now, I'm like, yeah, like at the very end, you fight like fucking the Khan, Genghis, or whoever cousin.
Right, that's enough hypotheticals because you know more about the story than we do, so you might have better guesses.
But also, I haven't even played much of the story mode, and I kind of get the same feeling. Like I was just reading like some of the side stuff that you pick up here and there, and I'm like, I got a feeling.
Okay.
It was like very similar to his. Like I just have that feel on that.
I'm still in the first island. I'm still in Act 1.
Me too.
I'm clearing it out.
I haven't done the third mission yet. I've been doing all the side stuff.
Exactly, but like even in the side missions though, they're always like they're talking about like morality. They're talking about like everyone has like these type of tough choices in what they do. Like if someone's a thief, but they're kind of like a thief. Not necessarily like a thief by choice. They're like a thief by circumstance. Here's like this giant war that's going on in your homeland. Everyone's dying around you. You're fucking starving, and you see food there. You're gonna leave it alone? No, you're gonna take it with you. But then someone else is calling you a thief because you stole their food, even though they're not there. They already fled. What's going on? There's a lot of these dire situations or these moments that, especially like in their culture, type of thing. Like here's a temple that these monks are willing to die over. These monks are willing to die over, but you're trying to this isn't necessarily like an actual mission, but these monks are willing to die over it. But you're trying to convince them to die later, live to die later. Survive now so you could fight later with us for the biggest. Because if you die now, then it's nothing. It's less people that can help us later. Whether it's medicine, whether it's to gather food, etc., etc. Things can be rebuilt, lives can't.
Got it. Yeah.
And then there's people that are so stubborn. There are people that are so stubborn that they don't want to face that fact. They'd rather just face the sword, face their chances. Like for people that lived through Katrina, there are thousands of people that just decided not to move, and that decided to stay there and face the storm.
Yeah. After they were told to move. Yeah, I got you. I've been really enjoying my time with the game, to be honest. Like that's the only thing I want to play. Like that's the only game I think about. Like today, I actually jumped in a little bit into Halo, just like a little bit, like maybe like 10 minutes. So
I gotta download Halo.
I gotta go back.
No, you gotta play Halo on PC. You too.
No, I don't wanna.
No, you do though. You do.
I don't, because it runs at 60 already in consoles. I don't need it to run like. But yeah, I'm really George. Are you working cleaning out the island? How far are you into that?
I don't know exactly how far. It doesn't seem like I have many side missions left on there, which I haven't even. Like I said, I haven't even gone to like the regular missions either. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, like what is it? So there's like between 6 and 10 main missions on the first island, because it like shows you that's what I like. So the map, if you go to your map, it shows you like the main missions that you need to do to continue the story, like right like on the bottom right or something, and then it shows you which ones that you finished, so it crosses them out as well.
I've been actively avoiding the ones I need to keep going with the story.
That's what I did as well, but that's something that I love, the fact that it shows you, hey, these are the ones that you need to do. Also, if you're a completionist, these are the ones that you want to avoid. So if you see them on your travels, don't accidentally start it, which is like something that I would do with a lot of other games. Where it's like you sometimes just showing up to the place, you don't know that that's like the actual main story or main plot until you're midway through a conversation. It's like fun.
You know what I really like about the game? That I feel like you take control over the game, as in the mechanics and everything. Like now I'm at the point that I just feel like I'm in control of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I know exactly how to when somebody's gonna shoot an arrow at me. You know what I mean? I know exactly someone's gonna attack. Like I feel, I always feel like I have full control of everything I want to do, of of the mechanics of everything.
And that sense of growth though too. This game does it pretty well. Like I like it's still corny. It's still corny. Like you could tell this game isn't like again. This is what I kind of laugh at Last of Us. Where like Last of Us try to like kind of be pretentious in itself, where it tries to be too much. Like this game is just a game. It just wants to be a game with this little story that it's telling, and it's doing it very well. Has its bugs, but it does everything so.
Did we lose him?
Oh no, I think we lost him.
Yeah.
It's funny. The last thing he said was bugs. But yeah, let me see. I'll try to call him back. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, man. You're
Forgive
back.
me. Forgive me.
It's funny because you're talking about bugs and boom, you fucking drop out. So yeah, let's just finish this segment up real quick, so we can go on to the meat of the show. George, we definitely wanna like post on the description like when the talk of the Xbox stuff starts, because I think people will want to listen to that, you know, our take on that. But I think right now I need one more mission before I leave the island to the second act. So I'm just trying to clear everything out. I think I'm clearing out all the bases. Like even the bases at first, like not the regular, what are they called? Like the bigger bases, you know what I'm talking about? The camps, yeah. The bigger ones. Like at first I was intimidated because I felt like I was always getting caught, but now I know how to min-max and like put the charms. I know like now I'm really used to just switching outfits out for what I need. Like all right, I need the stealth outfit now. So before I go to a camp, I switch to the stealth outfit, and I'm just fucking shooting arrows left and right, just killing everybody stealthily.
But that's what I love about this game. It gives you those choices, especially on the fly, if you want to go about doing that.
Yeah, even when you apply to do a duel, like when you start the duel, it's like, oh, I'm gonna need extra defense. I'll switch to the one that gives me more buffs for defense immediately.
Bing, bang, you know what I mean? Or like you're confident that you're gonna take all of these enemies out. Let me put on the armor that gives me max amount of kills in the duel.
Yeah, or like the arrow one.
You go from 2 to 3 to like 5 total, and sometimes that's an entire group.
Yeah, for sure. Like I love that stuff. It's super. The game is super gamey, but I think it's awesome. And I also love the fact that it tells you what you're gonna get after every mission. Hey, you highlight anything on the map, it's like, hey, you're gonna get this. You know exactly, like, you know, any side thing, you know exactly what you're gonna get, which is awesome.
Particular for a build, if you're working on a specific build that you want early in the game, you can find it by like going to each of the shrines and seeing which ones have what. Oh, I don't want that one. Let me go to the next one. Oh, I don't want that one. Let me go to the next one. Oh, this dojo has my spot. Here, this is it.
Yeah, it's super cool. I'm going to have a good time. George, any final thoughts on Ghost?
No, you guys pretty much covered just about everything. I don't switch. I'm just playing it as straight up like Ronin style. I'm still in my traveling gear, walking around.
Mm-hmm. Have you leveled that up?
A hat.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend to level up anything until you know what it is that you want and commit to that early. If you get what I'm saying. Like you want to commit on one armor in the beginning so that you can like float throughout the different battles. Because sneaking isn't that hard. You don't necessarily need like super buff sneaks or like super buff armor per se. Because what happens is like right after a certain point in the story, enemies can just get like this like double buff where they have extra strength and extra armor. So you're kind of put at a disadvantage. And
you know what's funny about that? I got introduced. All right, so I'm almost done with the first island. And today, I don't know what the hell happened, but I got introduced to a new mechanic that I've never seen in the game that threw me off a little bit. It has to do with the enemies having something else that could spot you. That's what I'm saying. And the first time, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? Like, oh, hell no. Like, I think it was a hint.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
And then, well, there's a few of those. There's 2 of those that are like kind of like alert mechanism, pretty much. Yeah. So that being said, like, well, so in that point they get a little bit of a buff though too. If you, like I said, like they're color coordinated. You can kind of tell like as you travel along, they get different colors, darker colors, they're stronger and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if the game glitched out on me on that. Is that supposed to be in the first? I mean, if George and got into it, because I faced today some enemy that I've never faced that walking around. I'm like, this dude looks way more stronger than, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like if glitched out an enemy from the second island, like a group of them, and just brought it to the first island for whatever.
I don't know. I think after like a certain point, after a certain point, they start getting introduced. I think after a certain point, like the game knows we've gotten through a certain like key checkpoint or amount of damage or amount of something, or probably the reputation. I think the reputation also does affect the difficulty of the AI.
Yeah.
If you have like super high reputation, then like instantly your enemies are a little bit tougher, or like, because I feel like that's what happened like for me in the moment I got introduced to the second area. Like it was like a super disadvantage, but I think it was because I progressed so high at first. So although I was ready, I wasn't at the same time.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's what I hear. Once you go to second island. Yeah.
Could be what point of the map you're at too, because there was this one base that, because I'm just like walking around, and if I see a base, I just run into it. I don't really care. But there was one that literally tells me there are overwhelming odds in this base. It's like,
yeah, bro, I got stuck on a checkpoint at one of those. Like, so I would die and spawn pretty much at that sign telling me this is overwhelming forces. And then before I have a time to like turn around or run, I'm getting shot by arrows that make no sense. Like there was one time where I was getting like machine gun arrowed from the ocean. No one behind me, but because I'm in an area where I shouldn't be, like that was getting sprayed on.
Yeah, no, that happened to me, and then a bunch of guys just came running out of nowhere. I'm like, where the fuck did they just come from? I didn't even see them. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, that game.
Yeah, I tried to take them on. It didn't work out.
That didn't work out, right?
No.
Yeah, I could see that fucking getting mauled. But yeah, do you guys want to move on now to the meat of the show, I guess?
Xbox, the game showcase.
Xbox 2020 game showcase. Yeah, so I'm gonna run through what I wrote down, all the stuff that got announced or whatever. Anything that I might have missed, some stuff probably. Well, I was like, I figured when I was face palming at some point, I missed like something that was being played. So here we go. So in order, we got.
You blinked fast enough. We actually missed a good show.
So no, I think I was crying at one point with my head down, so I missed like a good amount. So in the order of things, so first the show opened up with now meme gods Halo Infinite. Then went on to State of Decay 3, Forza Motorsport 8. I wrote 8, but I think it's just Forza Motorsport. They're rebooting it.
Yeah, they left it blank.
Yeah. Everwild. Tell Me Why. Ori, Series X patch, 120 FPS. Then we got the Outer Worlds DLC stuff. Then Grounded. Then we also got Avowed by Obsidian. So they show those 3 games: Outer Worlds DLC, Grounded, and Avowed. Then we got As Dusk Falls. Then we got Psychonauts 2. Then again, for some godforsaken reason, Destiny 2 is coming to Game Pass. Then we got Stalker 2.
They kind of like showed like the Beyond Light.
See, that's cool. That's
crap shit.
That's cool. Like that's cool. The fact that you got all the expansions and the Beyond Light, on Game Pass. That's great.
I feel bad for all the fucking bastards that paid like fucking full price.
If they paid for it, they've been playing it, so they just got to play early. That's the price, I guess.
But my thing is with this Beyond Light, will that be free as well on the Game Pass? Will that be an expansion going?
From what I understand, yeah.
Well, is it an expansion going forward as well, or is this like the route that Destiny's going, where they're just gonna expand the game for free?
Yeah, the for free, no. The expansions are still gonna be paid. The game is gonna be free to play.
But on the Game Pass, it'll be free. The DLCs.
The DLCs, it seems like that's the case at this point. But again, we don't know how long it's gonna be on the Game Pass. You know, for all we know, they worked out a deal for like a year or something. You know, like who knows? But yeah, they confirmed this 4K 60 FPS on Series X, so that's cool. Then we got Stalker 2.
What is it? What a patch for the rays?
For ray tracing, I don't think it has getting ray tracing. I don't think it is.
No. But if it is, it's a patch.
Oh, patch. Yeah. It's coming later on the line. God damn it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Then we got Stalker 2, like I said. Then we got Warhammer Darktide, which I guess is like a Left 4 Dead Warhammer. Then Tetris Effect Connected, which is I love. It's called game again. Everything I'm saying, by the way, George, is on Game Pass. Everything they showed was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So even though you might say, whatever, you still get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like weird.
Exactly.
Good thing about it.
It's like fucking when like you're getting offered food, like when you're a kid. When you're a kid and your mom's like, "Oh, I have this food," and you're like, "I don't want to eat this," but then you're stuffing your face with it anyways.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, I mean, there's a lot of good value you're getting. You know, all this stuff is on Game Pass, so at least I'll try anything here. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's just that Xbox took like this weird approach where complete back foot, because there are games that seem very interesting, medium, very interesting, but I have a feeling that's going to be like a 2-hour game. Avowed, extremely interesting, but didn't show enough on it.
Dude, that's the problem. If this list of games exactly the way it is, but let's say Halo Infinite, whatever, it looked the way it did. But let's say they show some gameplay for Avowed and it looked insane. Because again, Avowed it looks like it's next gen only. And they show some gameplay for Fable and it looked incredible. I think the show would have been solid. I'm like, yep, I'm in. Because all you need is those key titles. Everything else is just like how do you say it? Like frosting on the cake, right? Like the topping. Like it's just like the little whipped cream on top of your pancakes. You know what I mean? Like it's just that little extra oomph.
The fuck, you eat fucking whipped cream on your pancakes?
You know what I mean?
You probably have
cream. I don't know.
on yours too, bro.
All right, so let me just the last 4 games on the list. The Gunk, which looks really interesting.
Really
yeah.
Though? Does it though?
That studio, like the Steam guys. I like the last few games they made.
That game's just like that. That's
it's
like
weird. It's weird as hell. But like again,
weird Mario Sunshine shit for me.
I'm into shit like that. Again, the Medium actually. I don't know if you saw, Lee. There's actually like a good like 4 minutes of gameplay, 4K you could watch. It's kind of interesting. The whole split thing. How you two realities at once.
That's what that's the thing I saw that, but that's all that they're showing pretty much. They're showing that whole dual reality bullshit,
which is difficult to do in games. Which is super difficult. They had to patent that technology.
Well, exactly, because you're technically running the game twice.
That's not easy to do. That's literally not easy to do.
I think there have been a bunch of games that have tried doing that and failed miserably. I can't really remember their names, but that's probably why.
And see, one of those games, I would have, if I was Microsoft, I at least would have gone in, because this game is exclusive to the Xbox and PC, right? And it shows what it's only possible next gen, because that game was made on Series X because it's only possible with an SSD. You know what I mean? Like, so they should have gone in more showcasing that game, but I guess, so the Medium, then New Genesis PSO, which is like that new expansion for PSO 2, but like they redid the graphics. It looks way nicer.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I told you before, if you remember, when I downloaded that game a few months back and I started playing it. Like, that this game, it's fun to play. It's fun to play on the Xbox. I was playing it for like a fucking bunch of hours. Like, there are some things that they need to bring back on, a little less J in the RPG and a little bit more A in the RPG, a little bit more America. So like, it's easier to navigate. It's easier to like remember certain things, because certain parts of it is like menus on top of menus, and they're not like easy menus. They're like these long, small script menus. So you're like constantly reading through things and having to remember like, oh, okay, if this is here, that's over there, and I have to go through this sub menu to go to that menu and stuff like that. Where it would be kind of easier with a keyboard and mouse because all you got to do is point and click and navigate. On a console, you're kind of at the mercy of your analog. Up, down, right, left, up. So you're constantly clicking away trying to get at something. When on a mouse, you could just reach it and point it and then click it. So if they find a way to like simplify the UI, that'd be pretty dope. Is it gonna happen? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that whole new area looks cool. How like how they redid the graphics, which is interesting. You carry your character over and everything over to that. So that's cool.
If it's a whole new thing, that'll be kind of weird.
It seems like it's a whole new thing. Like a whole new like
it's a whole server that you jump into.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm not sure if they were doing the graphics for the whole game or it's just like a whole new like instance or something. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a whole new instance where like it's a whole different list, because that's what it is. Like you hop into a whole bunch of servers. The servers are like floors and whatnot and shit like that. If you remember back in the day, but it'd be interesting to see like a whole different list of different servers, which is the new Genesis shit.
Yeah. Again, this part of the details are out there. I don't know much of it. Then they showed the Crossfire X campaign trailer that's being done by Remedy. So that's it. I want to see what the hell that is. You know, Remedy does some goofy ass stuff, so I want to see what their take on like a military style shooter thing is. So that should be interesting.
There was a lot of fire under this game at first, especially like in China and shit like that. This game is fucking huge.
Oh yeah, it was the biggest game in the world at some point.
It's fucking it's nuts. It kind of died down, especially after like the streamage, the viewership of it fell. Mm-hmm. But even then, I wonder if this is gonna help them bounce back. If it'll create enough.
I think in Asia is still one of the biggest things ever. That's the thing, is that we always concentrate on the Western markets, but Asia is fucking huge. Like the market over there.
Don't you remember Mag? Mag reminds me a lot of Crossfire, and Mag was big like even after it fell, type of shit.
Listen. Mag was a cool idea. It was fun, actually. I played it. It was fun.
I played it.
I'm not gonna lie, it was fun.
The idea was better. The idea was definitely
yes, the idea was way better. And then they closed out the show with Fable, which is fucking great. But again, like a CG trailer. I'm at the point now, like I don't know if it's I'm getting older or whatever, but like when I was younger, I would see a CG trailer and I'll get pumped. I'll be like, oh my god, this is dope as fuck. Now, if I'm not seeing gameplay, it's almost like not seeing anything.
Well, the thing is, back in the day, the CG trailers gave you more to like go by. It gave you like an attitude. It gave you a theme. It gave you like that fucking trailer would feed you for fucking months until they showed you something else. Nowadays with these trailers, they'll show you something and it's completely opposite to the game when you finally get it. Type of shit.
Back then when they showed you a CG trailer, is like it's something that's actually in the game. It's part of its story. Now they show you a CG trailer, it's for shit that probably has nothing to do with the game at all.
But like in Fable, from that trailer, I get some stuff. I get like the themes. I get the whole high fantasy, the whole big mushroom stuff, like Morrowind. I love that themes. I like that. That's cool as hell.
But look at this. What I got instantly from it, especially from kind of seeing it in the point of view as a fairy. Especially the fairy that gets eaten like nothing at the end. We might not be a fairy, but in this giant world, we'll be insignificant. So insignificant that we could be swallowed up by nothing. By you know what I'm saying? Like that's
but you know,
in the game, when we play the game, there'll be a bunch of these open-ended decisions that have no base, that have no feeling, that don't end up feeling that if I made the wrong choice, I just got eaten up by this fat toad that at the end of the day amount to nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Like for me, you know what I got from that? I got more like the humor of Fable.
Ooh, I got
you know what
that.
I mean? Like, okay, it's not exactly the same, but like, okay, you know, the fairy just got eaten. They make it seem like it's the fairy's majestic. It just fucking gets, you know, like that's what I kind of got.
Oh well, and then like, oh well.
Yeah, like, but again, not everything works out as a, but I think what you're saying is true though, because I think the narrator does say, but everything doesn't work out as planned. So maybe that could be like that you could have things like fall apart right in front of you, and it could be kind of funny in the way it does it. You know what I mean? Which I think is kind of cool in a fantasy game, because Fable always balanced like seriousness and cool adventuring with some fun stuff in there. So
a bunch of like, corny and like a bunch of like corny satire and like shit that like you which I think in 3 no, I think even in 2 you can get STDs and shit like that.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. You could like get married different people and stuff, different families. Yeah, it's
about it too. Like you could have a fucking 2 different fucking marriages and shit like that.
It's hilarious. Yeah, they could meet each other and they could fight. Like I remember stuff like that. Yeah,
it was corny. It was corny, but it worked. It was funny, especially that like British satire. Yeah. It was almost watching The Office, but the UK version.
Yeah. And you know, I think that's cool because we don't get many fantasy games like that, right? Usually, if we had a fantasy game, it's usually like Game of Thrones style, all gritty and
super
crazy.
Serious.
Yeah. So, but I think that's cool though, because
they can't even manage. That's the thing that like we're getting like these very super serious, but then they kind of fall on their own sword because then there's things that break it. Where it's like, okay, so then like what was the point that you're trying to make? Because then here you are showing something else that's dumb.
But it's kind of cool though that we're getting both of those things with Xbox. We're getting what Avowed, right? A more serious type thing like fantasy game, and then Fable.
It looked like very like Lord of the Ring, fucking in the depths.
It's more Skyrim, like that style, like that more. Not I'm saying like super dark gritty. I didn't get that, but I got more like you said, Lord of the Rings style.
Like at the very end, it felt like these a dungeon was gonna be a dungeon. Like if you're crawling through a cave, you're crawling through a cave. Like it's not like in Skyrim, a dungeon just is a dungeon. After you kind of figure out the gist of it. Oh yeah, get the key, get the door, go around, and then you end up in the same place that you started. The end is the beginning, and the beginning is the end in every dungeon. And from what I got at the very end, if you look at the background, it looks like Helm's Deep, pretty much. Where it looks like almost like there's a city in the background, like these structures in the back. And it looks like you can get lost in them shits.
Probably. I don't know.
We could hope.
Yeah, he's probably baby issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
yes. The cool thing too about Avowed, like if you in that trailer, if you notice as the arrows going down, you see that like the ruins, all the layers and levels to it, like it looked like very complex. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That to me, that's where I got that grasp of like Lord of the Rings, where it's like, oh, okay.
Can you imagine that dungeon could take a long time to?
Exactly. If that's a dungeon you could navigate through, then that's an actual fucking dungeon. Like again, like my complaint with like where Skyrim and a lot of games is where like these areas are literally just like an arena, and that's all they ever feel like. This like circle, this little cage that you're in that has one way out and one way in, and that's about it. Where like in that little presentation, like you're saying, you see like all these structures and shit like that. It looks like there's a city. There's a city that you can navigate through, where it brings me back to like these old like RuneScape days, these old like RPGs where like you oftentimes when you dived into a dungeon, your first time you're not getting through it the first time. You're going as far as you can, and then getting out to get resupply to then get all the things that you really need to go back in and finish. Like imagine for example, like back to like the Lord of the Rings and shit like that. at the end of Avowed, and that trailer, you see the doorway and you see like it glow, like if there's a boss coming through. Oh, it's a Balrog. The Balrog didn't notice you, but now you know that it's there. So you leave. You get all the material. You get your friends to fight this boss that you found in this section of the dungeon. Type of shit.
That's but what if like you and I could have different experiences in the same dungeon because it looks so massive? What if you like found this other boss there? It goes another boss. You keep going. It's a bigger treasure. I'm like, what? Really? How you get there? And like, you know what I mean? Like we could talk about it. It's like, oh, you go into the dungeon this other way. You find this other thing that you could break down. You know what I mean? Stuff like that sounds kind of cool. But do you guys just want to talk about the elephant in the room or?
I was kind of like, I mean, oh God, fine.
So they opened the show, like, dude, that opening trailer, I was so hyped. The music, everything was like, oh my God, here we go, Halo Infinite. Then the trailer starts, like the actual gameplay, and you know immediately something's off. You're like, wait a minute.
And then it's not going very well shortly after that.
Then you know something's definitely off. You're like, wait a minute, this is the next gen one? Like, what the?
Are we sure? Like, is this outtakes from like Halo 2?
Yeah. George, did you end up seeing the Halo Infinite trailer?
I watched a little bit of it, but since I'm not exactly like a Halo fan, so it's just kind of.
Well, just seeing it, just the corner of your eye, like you saw, like, what'd you think?
It looks alright. Just didn't look like anything new. Like, Halo.
No. There was definitely something new about it. Fucking some of these ugly looking motherfuckers are pretty new in my eyes.
Yeah. This is the thing about Halo. Or the whole conference, because I had a similar.
They don't look like. I don't even know what those motherfuckers look like. If they don't overhaul the fuck out of these brutes like they did Sonic, that they're yikes, bro. I mean,
I don't know.
I think there's shit to worry about. But whoever thought, let's make the brutes into locusts.
You see, that's not even my problem with it, really. My problem with it is the animating. They weren't animating. The faces weren't. It looked like they were just static. Mm-hmm. That's what made it feel like it wasn't done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like a straight face. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was my main thing.
Just the face. I mean, like, it was... what we were watching is, just thinking, oh, it's so bad. It was so bad compared to like the videos that they're showing now, like the last like conversation that you see with that fucking Banished or whatever the fuck that doofus's name was, where he's like, fight on and yada yada. Like, whoa, bro, that dude looked like he was made out of Play-Doh, bro.
Yeah, the textures. It looked like the textures weren't done. Yeah, like it looked like the textures weren't done because the thing is, like I was saying. George, like I had a similar issue I had with this in the PlayStation one. A lot of CG stuff, even though they did show like Ratchet and Clank, and it looked incredible. But like even Horizon Zero Dawn was like not gameplay. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of this has to do with COVID. Like everybody got screwed. You know, even Nintendo, like I was saying, like I don't want like it's kind of weird because at what point do we say, wait, this sucked. This shouldn't be happening. Microsoft was supposed to kick the door open and be like, yo, we're fucking here to fucking play. We're here to fucking game, but they didn't. But you could see in the openings where they could have, and it all seems like too easy, and it almost seems like, this COVID thing is fucking everybody up because it's not only them, it's everybody. The thing is that PlayStation didn't have that much to prove, right? Like they didn't. So Microsoft had the weight of the world on them for this conference. And it just didn't. Like at the end of the
fucking up. Like I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at the Xbox on Twitter, and they're like showing the last little snippet of what I'm talking about. Like the dude has like eyebrows compared to the last dude. He has lines in his forehead compared to the shit that we see. Motherfucker has actual definition on his lips, which he didn't have before.
Dude, all you have to do,
all we could see was his teeth. In the original video that they were showing, he almost had no lips compared to the teeth that he was showing.
It just looked like N64 textures.
It was like what was going like some things. The corona's really fucking them up.
Yeah, dude, that tells you that tells you like the stuff that they iron out. Like never have seen a Halo demo like this rough, as far as graphics. Because to me, honestly, I think the gameplay, dude, after I had time to decompress, after I saw it, and I went back, saw it in 4K, because I see the trailer a few times, to be honest, in 4K. The gameplay, I can't wait if I can play this game. As far as like just playing it, having a good time, playing co-op, like I can't fucking wait. Nope, not kidding. I literally cannot wait to play that. But man, dude, like you look, George, like stuff that you assume with next gen, because again, this game is an Xbox One game, right? Started out as an Xbox One game that got, spruced up for next gen, and you see the grass and the textures loading right in front of you. You know something's up right there, right? You're like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be happening. So you know immediately something's off. Yeah. So apparently the build is an older build, that they. Because usually, like I was telling Jose, usually from what I understand is that while they're building the game, they take a strike team out to the side to build the demo. You know what I mean? Like to E3 demo, whatever, just to get it ready. So they take a slice and they, add the effects and spruce it up and change it up. That's why sometimes like you see the demo doesn't like completely align with the game. That's because the demo was made separately as the game is being made. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they sometimes have a little bit of extra liberties. They maybe add extra textures to make it look nicer than the actual game will have, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But you don't see any of that in that demo. It was, dude, like the crazy part is the day before the conference, they came out with the cover art for Halo Infinite, right? And it was the Master Chief looking at you, right, type of thing. Like it's really harkening back to the original cover art of Halo 1, Combat Evolved, dude. And the hype you saw online, people were like really ready. All these lapsed Halo fans and everybody was like, "Fuck yeah, Halo's back!" Like a lot of people started getting nostalgia. I'm talking from everywhere, like ex-gamers, fucking PlayStation, everybody felt like it was coming out. It felt weird. And I was talking to Jose Lee before that came out. I'm like, I tell Lee, like, I haven't seen this much positivity for Halo in a long time. Remember, Lee? I was telling you that the day before. It felt like the new start, like the start to Halo again. I'm like, oh man, this is feeling right. And then the next day, dude.
And then I was saying, nope. You can hope.
And then that immediately got squashed. Well, like again, I think a lot of people are still going to play it regardless of graphics. You see it online too. A lot of people are like, yeah, it looks like crap, but it's Halo. It looks like what Halo was to me back in the day. It looks a lot like that. So I think the game, even if the game doesn't look super next gen, I think it's going to be a fun game just based on what I mean, the game could be trash for all I know, but just based on a little bit of gameplay. But yeah, dude, like, as a Halo fan, that broke my heart at the beginning, dude. Like, I knew something was up. Like, the lighting didn't seem right. It looked like the lighting was turned off. Because if you see some screenshots, you see the detail in the guns. Like, it pops out and then it goes away. Like, it looks flat. Like, there's no self-shadowing on the gun. I'm like, dude, even Halo 4 had self-shadowing on the gun. It looked like, or they faked it or something. Or, like, it reflects off itself. You weren't seeing any of that. So the details don't pop out. Like, any little crevices and, like, scratching on the metal, you can't see it because the lighting is not projecting it, right? The lighting a lot of the time does make textures pop and make things pop. I don't know. It really did break my heart seeing that. I still can't wait to play it. I want to see this thing, but man,
we'll see when we get there. I mean, at least like
I can't wait to play. I'm not saying that's gonna be
Halo
good.
Infinite. Halo Infinite is pretty much just as much. Or I'm waiting for it just as much as I did Halo 4. I could tell something was in something. No, I was waiting for it too, but I knew something was in the water.
Dude, so I actually liked Halo 4. The one I didn't like was Halo 5. That was the one I was like, oh my god, like what the fuck is this?
No, I could just tell Halo 4 was falling off. At Halo 4, I knew things were getting weird. Like things were good about Halo 4, but then things were like, what's going on here? Like don't do this in Halo 5, and then they do that and worse in Halo 5. So
yeah, Halo 5 was a confusing thing. But overall, I think the show, the more I think about it, like if you were to ask me right after after I watched it, I would have been like, this thing's a 0 out of 10. not me exaggerating, just because I was so upset like with everything, because I was really hoping that Xbox would like, bring the heat. And then you start literally looking at it, you're like, wait a minute, everything I saw is on Game Pass. A lot of the stuff that we just haven't seen it. That's the issue. We just haven't. Like, dude, have you seen that trailer, Everwild in 4K? Man, that thing looks next gen.
I told you,
Jesus Christ.
The first time I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this is a game that like worth following,
and
worth being interesting in.
George, you gotta see that thing. It has this like stylized art style. It's kind of look like kind of anime-ish, but dude, like the way they do some like weird juxtaposition like effects, like with the art style, like you have like realistic looking fur, but like that it's like colored like an anime, so the fur looks animated realistically, or the hair, and it looks really cool,
and it moves and shit like that, dude. It was nuts. Like,
and the effects and the smoke and stuff.
To that, dude. There's a lot of things that they're doing in that game that's pretty cool. It looks wild. I'm just like, I'm wondering what it all means. Like that.
It looks like a co-op or something, right? Like, it's a 4 people.
It looks like it's 5 people. So who knows? Maybe it's 5. Maybe it's 5 player, 4 players. Who knows?
You get hints of like this massive world and exploring. So I'm guessing gonna be some exploration, some sort of like witchcraft, or it looks like you're bringing animals back to life. Like that game actually looks impressive. Like if that's what the game's gonna look like, that looks really impressive. Mm-hmm. Forza Motorsport, that in-engine thing, that looks fucking crazy good too.
That looks pretty nuts.
That look. If the game looks like that, man, and I gotta say, like Gran Turismo looks pretty good too on PS5. But I think Forza, if Forza looks like that, man, that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, like overall, I think it was a good conference. It's just the 3 beats it needed to hit: Halo Infinite, Avowed, and Fable. All those 3 biggest beats, they all fell down. They couldn't stick the landing. Like, I know a lot of people are psyched for those games, but to me personally, just CG trailers don't do it anymore. Or like a small, it just does. I need to see gameplay. I don't care. That's why like the PlayStation one, people were raving about it. I was happy with it, but like I wasn't crazy about it because, like, oh my god, they show Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, I don't care. I didn't see gameplay. Oh, but the games I looked at, I don't care. I didn't see gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, this is me. I want to see. I know Horizon Zero Dawn is, but I want to see gameplay. I don't care. Spider-Man's coming out this year. No gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Like, similar feel to it. Yeah, George, what do you think?
I agree. They need to start showing more. But then again, like we said before, it could be due to COVID, just probably pushing development of everything back.
Dude, because everything is getting affected. Everything. So it has to be COVID, right? Even Nintendo is getting affected by this. Like, Nintendo, we have no idea what they're coming out for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but then Nintendo's kind of been always kind of keep to themselves.
They do, but
like,
this
they drop it like the week. They give you news the week before it comes out.
Yeah, but like usually by this point, you at least know what the holiday looks like, at least, or something. Like, they've been so quiet, it's weird. Like, and you figure like Nintendo's not gonna they're super conservative. They're not gonna let people take dev kits home. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna let people take all these secrets home. Like, that's not gonna happen. I don't know. It kind of sucks. Like I was telling Lee, like usually by this point when next gens are coming out, we've seen so much gameplay. We know what the launch lineup looks like. Like, we see so much gameplay that we already know what the game console is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's weird. Like, I don't know. It just overall, it's really weird. Is there anything that caught your eye in the conference from what you've seen, George?
Nothing really. Like I said, I didn't watch much of it though, so I'd have to sit down and actually watch the stuff. But
yeah,
I could have found like a good streaming version that wasn't like 5 hours long. So,
yeah,
and you don't know where the freaking show actually starts.
Yeah, I recommend just watching some trailers. Just to...
I could watch ours, but then I got to look at your face the entire time.
Just cover with your hand. Oh, dude, like at some point in that conference, you see me just looking down a lot. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah,
I really. After Pedro told me like his thing, and he was like, it was kind of unanimous that nobody was really happy. I'm like, maybe I should watch our thing because this should be hilarious for Jose's facial reactions alone.
Yeah, it was like I knew it as soon as I saw Halo. I'm like, yep, this is we're in for a ride, boys. If that's the marquee title and they can't show it in a good light, we're strap in. Like, I might have said that, I'm like, guys, strap in because we're about to hit a bumpy ride. yeah, like again, it's weird. Like I don't know. I really want an Xbox to like, come out swinging. But again, they don't care anymore. They really just want, like, they don't, like, we're thinking about it in traditional ways because a lot of people are like, oh, they didn't sell me on the Series X. They didn't sell me on the Series X. Like, well, they don't really care, right? Like, they want you to play on PC, on the Xbox Series X, like, get it however you can. xCloud, as long as you sign up for Game Pass, like, this show was about Game Pass. It wasn't about Series X. It was about Game Pass. You know what I mean? And I think it would have been better if they would have communicated that beforehand. It's like, hey, this is about Game Pass, not just about selling you on the Series X. Like,
I think people just assumed it because they have the Series X coming out soon, so it's like, oh,
yeah,
they're selling us on the Series X.
No, they're selling you on Game Pass on their service. That's what they're selling you on. And I gotta say that the service is fantastic. I love the service. Like, it's a lot like Netflix of games. They're getting closer and closer because I tell you what, I've played some games on there that I've never would have touched, that I've never would have bought. And they're really good, and now I'm in for the sequel. Like, I always bring up what's it called? That game, Innocence. What can I think of it right now? The one with the rats in France, like Innocence. Is that what it's called?
Plague?
Right? Yeah, Plague Tale. Plague Tale Innocence. Yep, there it is. Dude, that game was fun as hell. Like, now I'm in.
I guess we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
wait and see. I guess at this point, for both systems, which is weird.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I was telling Lee, like, before the show, I'm like, Spider-Man's coming out this year, and they in the announcement thing, we didn't see any of it. Like, the thing is about Sony, that Sony's like, yeah, let's just not show anything. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want the backlash of something that's not done yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was weird, and a lot of the stuff that they showed too. Even Halo Infinite wasn't running on Series X; it was running on a PC.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least on the PlayStation, when everything they showed was running on a PS5, at least, Sony had that mandate in place. But yeah, Lee, overall, I think I could guess what you felt about the show, but just if you want to talk a little more, like, how you feel about the show overall, the whole thing, after you if your thoughts of, like, from watching it, if after letting it marinate, are your thoughts the same, different, or worse, or whatever, like.
Thing is that, like, they're more or less worse, but I am understanding in the fact there are things in play that were unaccountable. The coronavirus, like, the meme of 2020 here, like, for good or worse, obviously for worse, but you know how the saying goes. There's only so much we could all do, but at the same time, like, it kind of feels like this was it from the beginning. At the same time, like, some of these choices, I feel like they were done from the beginning, and that was it. Like, we're getting this because we were gonna get this anyways. Like,
that's hard. That's really hard for me to see that, because I've seen what they could do. Even during the press conference, we're all with the disaster that was the unveiling of the Xbox One. Their actual E3 conference, when it was just about the games, fucking kicked ass. The only reason.
So, but then what are they gonna do? But, like, because I know where you're getting at. But then what are they gonna do? Like, wait 3 years until we finally know whether or not the coronavirus is completely gone and everything's okay and we're relapsing. And then bottom down or double down, focus down on making games again, and then start releasing them when it's like 3 years into the generation, and they still haven't convinced us to invest in another console, and now Sony sold the fucking 10 million units of PS5 because at least Sony did what Sony does, and they're releasing the games that they do.
Yeah, but, like, that's what I mean. Like, the whole thing with Xbox was always like, oh, they have no exclusive. I see a lot of exclusives now. It's just that we didn't see enough of them. You know what I mean? We didn't see enough of the gameplay. Like, Fable could have blown us away. Imagine that gameplay of Fable could have been insane. We could have been like, yo, I can't wait to get a Series X for that game.
The thing is,
but
like,
we didn't see anything.
And that too, but, like, we don't even, like, that's the worst thing about Fable too, is, like, there's nothing.
There's nothing like we haven't seen Fable since that bullshit fake Fable that was about to drop on fucking on the cell phone. Dude, let's be real here. We have no idea how this game is gonna come up, and they feed us a fucking a nice looking trailer. Great job, Microsoft. Great job again. Like they're like woof. Microsoft is like really like killing itself. It's like literally digging itself deeper and deeper, and again, it's like you can blame Corona, you can blame circumstances, but at the same time, if they don't do anything, there's no one to blame but themselves either. Dude, like you telling me a multi-million-dollar company isn't gonna fucking I'd pay dudes. I'd like if I'm making millions of fucking dollars, Jose and George, if I'm making billions of dollars a year, I'll sacrifice my millions so that I can pay these motherfuckers to be in like a safe type of habitat in Microsoft owned property, but in a safe habitat, in a safe area. Yes, everyone's excluded, but it'd be like fucking little quarantine cubicles where they can still work in little confines. It'd be awkward and shit like that, but they'll be getting paid more. They'd be getting paid more because of this. But shit needs to roll. Things need to be done. Like, take
nobody's gonna sacrifice himself for a game. That's not gonna happen.
I know, but people have done worse.
I know, and a lot of it has lost. Like the loss, like say, no, you can't do that. Like a lot of it. Trust me, if it was up to Microsoft, they'll fucking do it. It's just the loss. A lot of the states, like, no, you can't open office. Now it's not only them; it's everything that's getting affected. It's not only games and movies, everything. Look at the movies. There's nothing coming out because it can't. Like you can't. People can't work from home.
They can't film. They can't next year. Yeah, they film and then they can't showcase.
It's unfortunate, but like that's what's going on right now. The thing is that as gamers, we get super like blinded by these things, but like literally, like it's not. Microsoft is feeling it worse because they needed to prove more. It's unfortunate that it happened like this. It really is. Because again, I think PlayStation had a similar thing. It's just that they didn't need to prove as much. You know what you're getting with Miles Morales. You know what you're getting with Horizon.
Yeah.
You already know that, right? Miles Morales is coming out this year. Horizon's coming out next year. We haven't seen any gameplay. Oh, no, you see a little snippet. That's not gameplay. Like until I see somebody swinging around. It would have been better for Microsoft. The reason this thing is getting so much backlash is because of Halo Infinite. I think Halo Infinite, it was a key title that they hyped up so much of the gameplay. If Halo Infinite looked better and looked really fucking crazy and everything, I don't think people would be as down on this thing. Is that thing was such a sour spot for a lot of people that it just ruined it. For me, if Halo Infinite looked crazy, I would have been happy. Like whatever, everything else was just trailers, whatever, it's not being done yet, but Halo Infinite looks fucking dope. We're playing that this holiday. And then at the same time with Halo, there's not really much to go by too. Like there isn't. Like how do you convey the open world? Like they open up the map. Like okay, here, like
and even these motherfuckers, yes, they're the same the same enemies from Halo Wars 2. But then like what's the like all we've ever known is save the fucking world, save the fucking universe. Like what's the consequences now? What's the issue? Why are these dudes still mad? Besides the fact that they were banished and shit like that. How are we here? Why are we here? Etc. Etc. Nothing to fucking go by.
But so far, the only thing they're hinting at, it looks like what I've been saying, and not what I've been saying, but I've been wanting for them to just focus on a smaller story. Don't focus on the whole galaxy thing. We've already been through that. Like you can only do that so many times. Saving the whole galaxy, like that's that's over. I like the fact. I just wish is the fact that this Chief trying to bring this guy home. You know what I mean? Like, I want that to be the thing. Chief is going to stop these guys to bring this dude home, and he's the anchor for us.
So, but then watch there be like this like fucking conflict within himself, where there's like pockets of like where he thinks Cortana might be or some shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Doesn't.
And then he wants to go investigate Cortana, but if he does that, he risks putting the life of in danger of the life of him. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's the conflict in the game, and maybe the whole thing is Chief. Like, Chief is always like, oh, I need to be this hero. Like, he's always like a robot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and like, oh, I need to save this. Like, it's like a programmed robot. What if at some point it's like, no, dude, let this one go. You need to save this life. You know what I mean? Like, just save this. Like, you're gonna kill this dude if you continue on. And I kind of like that. I do really enjoy that. Like, I want it to be just about Chief and this dude stuck in this ring, exploring, figuring things out. Again, that's what they're hinting at. And then maybe for the sequel, whatever, you bring it back up. But like, start small. Like, just let us again fall in love with Halo. Don't let us worry about fucking intergalactic nonsense that we just too much again. You know what I mean? Like, the original Halo, that was so awesome. You didn't know what the Covenant was. You didn't know.
You knew that they were like an intergalactic fucking problem, but you didn't know it.
Well, you would if you read the book, you would have known. But like, you didn't really know.
But if you just picked up a game, if you just picked up the controller for the first time and started playing the game, you'd know within the first fucking couple minutes that these guys are a fucking giant problem.
Yeah, but
these guys are a huge problem.
But but I mean, it's like Halo 2 and the other ones, they kind of explore it more, like why they do like the whole like prophets and all that stuff. They go like explain why. But in Halo 1, it's just like this force, and like you're stuck in this Halo ring. It was so cool seeing this Halo ring. You're stuck there, you're exploring it. What the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, you're uncovering this mystery as you go. Oh fuck, the flood. What the hell is this? It turns to like a horror game for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like it would like, oh shit, this thing I've been fighting this entire time has a bigger enemy. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, like now you're caught in between. Like, that was cool, like figuring that out. It started small and it got bigger as it went, right? It got more and more and more. But at the beginning, it was just you stuck in this Halo ring trying to get out and trying to stop the flood. Trying to stop the Covenant from doing whatever they were doing. Because Cortana figured out, oh shit, this is a weapon.
If they're gonna do something right, I hope it's the scale. Like, if they're gonna show us this big giant open world, I hope they just do one thing, and even if it's just for a minute, like, again, one, fly a Pelican, or control the guns of a pilot, something around the life. Everyone's been wanting it. If they don't allow it, they're stupid. But not just that, some type of like actual naval warfare. Where eventually towards the end of the game,
that's way too much.
Man. Nah. Some type of like homage to Halo 2, where we're taking a bomb from inside of the giant ship to the other. Some type of homage.
Yeah, but like a cutscene, like
a cutscene that like you yourself are kind of like in, like more than a cutscene, like kind of like an action time event, but not an action time event type of shit. Where like you almost feel like you're something, like it's just something, because it's awesome seeing these giant ships, but only being out of reach, it just being out of reach and just being set pieces and shit like that.
Remember Reach?
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, like I would love to see something like that. I just don't. I don't know what that would add to like Halo, besides a cool cutscene. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll find a way to make it.
Yeah, dude. I really want to know what the beginning of the game is, because this is the part where the game opens up into the open world, unless it's another open area. That's halfway through the game.
Like, peep this. What if the dude finding you is like hours into the game? Exactly, hours into the game.
Yeah, because you know what? At the beginning of this demo, the new demo, it looks like it continues right after the last thing when he finds you. Or shortly after. Maybe you fight some Covenant up there, right? Maybe you fight some Covenant up there, because it looks like he's like ready to fight. Something happens, he gets back on the ship, then they got shot down, right? So maybe he goes from like another ship chief.
I have a feeling that they kind of went out past what they were comfortable with. You get what I'm saying? Because they were in a Pelican in outer space, but they couldn't stay in outer space because they get found. The Covenant have a technology to monitor people's life signs in outer space. Remember? It's easy. Exactly. It's easy to tell when someone's alive in outer space in the emptiness or the vastness of no life. So they had to go back down. They had to go down. Now they had to hide, but they had in hiding they had to supply themselves. They build the type of habitat. That being what we see in the new showcase in the trailers is probably like I think they even said it. It's a bunch of mentions in. It's a shit ton. It has to be like more close to halfway into the game.
They said it was halfway through. Yeah.
So like the what's going on there is stretched. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find out exactly why Master Chief is floating out in the middle of space. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have that like typical a beginning montage of him floating out in outer space, and we get the whole meme of how did he get there.
Yeah, I know they said afterwards that they really want to be a mystery on the Halo ring, like trying to figure out why the Banished there, like trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm interested in that. Maybe there's some other things going on. I hope it's a cool twist, like the Flood was in the original, right? Like something cool like that might be dope. I wonder. Hopefully, they don't pull the whole Flood being the twist again, right? Like,
I doubt that the whole Flood would be the twist, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at one point, these stupid ass fucking Banished somehow like see that they're gonna lose regardless, and then like give themselves to the Flood, and in doing so make the Flood inevitably the big issue again type of shit.
Because the Banished are like, from what I understand, they're stronger than the Covenant. They're crazier. Like they're really like guerrilla warfare. Like they operate on these
extreme circumstances. Exactly.
Yeah. You even see the Brutes in the gameplay. They rush you. They rush Chief. They fucking were coming after him.
They're not scared of death. They're not.
Yeah. So
that's what
that could be interesting.
They were supposed to do to begin with. But man, I wish they still look like they used to, man. I wish then that it really would feel good if they, or I mean, at least if they look like the apes that they've always been presented to be, type of shit. Like these motherfuckers just don't look like everything. And like that theme of them being completely fucking deranged, absolutely mantic. No, they don't care. Like they have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. It's only up for them.
Yeah,
and then dying is even better type of shit. That's from what I'm like the Spartan ethos spit back into Master Chief's face type of shit. Imagine that, motherfuckers. Like Chiefs aren't or Spartans were never scared to die, especially knowing the fact that technically they would live on forever in the whole MIA lore type of shit. But now they're facing the almost extreme but similar opposite to them, where they don't even care to be remembered as long as they just kill you in the process.
Yeah, they it's like a different thing. Well, right, like they're a completely different philosophy, right? They're very different from the Covenant. I think what they need to add to them is like more hair. I feel like. Because like the thing is, the Brutes never look the same. From game to game, the Brutes never look the same. That's the thing.
Yes, sort of. They sort of have, and they haven't. Yes, but they have.
The main thing I've noticed in this one that they squished their nose more down. Before it was more like reptile, like more forward.
They had snouts.
Yeah, like more snouty. Yeah, they were more snouts.
They were like apes and bears mixed together.
Yes.
They were like hybrid of bears and gorillas mixed together. They were like a giant silverback gorilla and a bear put together. Now they just look like Locust. Like
they try to get more face.
They give them more face. Like they weren't all fucking Brutes weren't gray. They're like some were different colors. Some were brown, some were black and shit like that. Some had more fur than other ones. Some of them had like a mane like a lion. Some had a mohawk type of shit. Like they look like different like tribal apes and shit like that. These motherfuckers don't.
Remember in Reach, they look weird. In Reach, they look like lizards. That's what I mean. Like they always look different.
In Reach, not really. They I think you were more focused on their armor, like the whole fucking ordained armor and shit like that. If you looked in their face underneath the armor, if you still looked at their face, it was still that snout. It was still the like if you look underneath the armor, you could sometimes see like the chieftains, like right where their neck is, you could see like they had fur, like a neck beard all around their fucking like a mane.
I know. It was like it seemed like the longer the mane was, the higher status you were.
So like it's like again, I mean,
but I think we're going really deep into like Halo, like like Halo fucking like nerdy shit right now. We should probably just talk more broad. I could talk all day. Trust me.
Especially Halo. I know it feels like such a shame.
Yeah.
Like
So overall, you were again. Your thoughts never changed, right? Like you were pretty much like not a good show. Didn't do anything for you. It unsold you on an Xbox, pretty much.
Pretty much, honestly. Like I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say like, yeah, they sold me on a PS5 because I still don't know what a PS5 has to necessarily offer me.
Exactly, it's the same. It's a similar thing. But at least on PS5, you look at Ratchet and Clank, you're like, oh fuck, that's next gen. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, but they only showed like a snippet of a little thing, like
sure, it is. But you look at it and be like, okay, this was impossible.
And then it's like to me where it slipped, it's like to me it feels like a whole new thing, a whole different thing. Like I thought they were gonna do like, okay, they revamped or they redid Ratchet and Clank 1, so that means they're doing Ratchet and Clank Going Commando type of shit where they're gonna redo the whole Going Commando story and shit like that. Now it's I don't know. So it's
because I think this is a sequel to Into the Nexus. This is not.
It is a sequel to Into the Nexus. Instead of the whole.
Yeah, so unless they plan to do like a new one, they did a remake, go like bounce back and forth. Who knows?
Well, maybe, and honestly, I'd hope for that, but I doubt it. Because like what I noticed from this one is like it felt like where it seems like Ratchet and Clank is like losing a lot of its like satire. The old like where like it felt like a kid's game. But then if you were old enough, you would see and you would hear these jokes that were like for adults and shit like that. They would have these funny ass quirks and these innuendos that you could tell were for adults. Like, okay, like where it separates kid from kid game or kid platform from adulty platform or funny platform and shit like that, or like older teen, like mid-teen shit like that. I feel like again, Ratchet and Clank is losing more and more of that teen aspect.
I don't know. I thought that game looked fucking dope as fuck. But anyways, George, you want to throw your 2 cents in there?
Nah, like I said, I can't compare them because like I watch one conference, I watch the other. I usually like games more on my PlayStation because that's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I fully admit that that's just what I'm used to. So.
Fuck you.
Whatever. Like it's whatever. Like it is what it is. You like what you like, and that's it. Like there's no, you know.
No, fuck you.
No. If you talk to Lee, what you like has to be what he likes. So,
no, that's not the case. No,
I'm
but
just messing with you, Lee. I sent you a picture. Take a look at it on your phone. It's not to do with the brutes. Do you see what I mean? Like with the whole lizard thing and the top picture.
Describe it slowly.
No, it's a picture of the brutes. The top one are the Halo 3 and the bottom one's the Halo Reach.
Oh, what the fuck, bro? You have a big dick, bro. Holy fuck.
You like that? Like those teeth?
Was that? I know it's that big, bro. So that's the one on the top is Halo 3, bro. Yes. I can tell that from a rip. Well, the bottom one, yeah, and like notice how like it had like this weird little like face paint shit like that. Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but it's still.
It always seemed like they changed it, and to me, it seems like the reason they try to make the face look more human-like in the new ones, it was because they're animating more, so that's add more bones similar to humans, because like mocapping or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the face, it sort of seems like to me, because a lot of times the games tend to do that. To like beasts and stuff.
Hand animate these motherfuckers' lips. I don't give a damn.
I think it was. I think some of it was. Yeah, I think a lot of that was hand animated, but like they did definitely carry in some like mocap stuff in there.
Because like, and then like have them built a robot fucking I don't know, dude. Dude,
at the end until we play this, we won't know. You know what I'm saying? Like
to me, Halo has stopped being like the epitome of like Halo quality, and like and it's funny because you say like, oh, Halo 3 didn't necessarily. I mean, they probably spent more on on marketing that they did on the game. But
the graphics doesn't matter because the game was still great. The last thing I think about I don't think about the graphics when I think about Halo 3. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, did the graphics really matter?
Not to be necessary, but everything else was still fucking. Everything to me was still like.
It was awesome. It was great.
Like quality, like handcrafted, or like everything that they tried doing, like you felt like had its all. They were trying everything they had. Like if that was like, to me, Halo 3 felt like Bungie's real last game. Like they made Reach, they made ODST, and they made Reach, and those were fucking great games. But to me, like the Halo send off was really 3. Almost cutscene was a punch. Almost every mission, you felt like it was you made a difference. You were doing everything and being helped and pushing forward. Everything counted for this moment. Like Halo 1, Halo 2, your time waiting, like as a kid growing up, waiting for Halo 2 to come out, and then Halo 3, everything was that point.
It was magical. Halo 3 was magical. It was literally magical.
It gave you everything back.
But again, dude, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I was getting a little bit of that feeling watching the Infinite trailer. Just the gameplay. I got a little bit like a tingle. I'm not saying I got because I had to play it, but I got a little tingling. I hope that it is that. I hope it brings us that. But again, until we play it, we really won't know. Like, we really won't. Like, is that enough to look at that 8 minute and be like, oh yeah, the game is gonna be suck, or the game is gonna be great? Like, there's no way of knowing. How's the open world work? We don't know. Like like what happens after that open world part? We don't know. Is it like Uncharted? They just you do mission, open world part, and then it goes back to mission. We don't know, right? Like, it's really hard, but.
And then
overall,
and then imagine this game being as huge as a Halo ring, right? But then it all being this like weird Halo platformer type of shit, like where it won't necessarily add up. The pacing won't ever add up. Here you are, this like bulky, slow Spartan, but then like all the mission are like really spaced apart. Like they really have to figure out a way to make this huge space feel reachable and accessible, and this story strong enough for fact. And this story strong enough to keep you driving forward in that giant landscape. Because imagine this game being a very huge ass game, but then it feels exactly like the tone that they want you to feel in Halo 1. This giant world, but you're this moonwalking, fucking creeping little thing. Like, so it takes time, and it's a journey to get to every single point. I could see how that can get very redundant very fast in a Halo game.
Oh, like, yeah. For fact, they could completely screw that up so bad.
Exactly, and then the vehicles are so spread apart that you're moonwalking almost everywhere that you're going. Like, I could see that going very fucking wrong.
But I could also see the co-op going around on the freaking adventure on a Halo ring. I could also see that part. You know what I mean? Like, that's where, it's really tough. Like, until we see another gameplay demo, until we, I guess, get our hands on it, or another gameplay demo to just get a better idea.
But we've seen where these motherfuckers have gone wrong by limiting co-op and shit like that. So,
I mean, it is split screen co-op. 2-player, and then four online.
And then 4 online, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I want to see how the hell they do, to be honest. But again, the more Halo, we super nerdy Halo talk.
You've seen the screenshots of like the Marines and the Warhogs with you. I wonder again if I might have been right about the co-op players.
Dude, that wouldn't work. You can't make your co-op partner weaker than you. That's not fun.
I wouldn't say it's not fun.
Hell no. I'm like, dude, you be the fucking Marine. I want to be Master Chief.
I'd be the Marine. I'd be the Marine. I'd be the Marine.
Yeah, and then fucking me constantly have to go revive your ass. No.
Nah, I wouldn't see that happening. But
I got killed.
I could see this weird meta. I could see this weird meta where yes, you would have to be like taking the aggro and making a bunch of plays for me, the Marine, to come in and clean things off. You would drop the shields or you would break the defenses, so I would come in with my BR, conserving my ammo and popping headshots. Popping headshots.
It turns into a strategy game.
Clearing, but I mean, big boy game now. This is Infinite. This is Halo. This is Halo now.
That sounds cool, but I don't know if they'll go that route, because then you have people fighting to be chief and stuff.
A Marine can still kill a grunt. A Marine can still clear grunts. Problems start arising when elites and brutes start showing up. Especially,
but what if they just you play as other, like, if you play as another Marine and they just make you like as strong as chief,
or just an ODST that's super buff, or just a sport war.
Yeah, that's still confusing. I think they're just gonna make 4 chiefs. I think I read somewhere that they
that'd be dumb.
That you're the only Spartan there, unless they're trying to mislead us, right? Like,
that'd be but that's the thing. Like, where again,
unless you're elites, dude. Unless like Halo 3 and you're just a bunch of elites with you, like,
because of the whole truce and shit like that. There's, you know, like
what I'm saying?
A battalion of elites ship type of shit. Maybe.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Because in Halo 3, it was you were a Spartan with 3 elites, so maybe it's that.
They were real elites. They all had stories.
Yeah.
Well, lore. Let's make that, let that be known. They all had lore.
Yeah, they had lore if you looked for it, but like not in the game.
Not in the game, but they had lore.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like a lot of the stuff, like this Halo, like if you read the newer Halo books,
that's what
they set up a lot of this stuff.
That's what I want though. Like yeah, it's cool to have a game that's co-op and shit like that, but it'd be cooler to have a game that's co-op that recognizes you playing in co-op type of shit. Like, whether it's the smallest thing where you see the people that you're playing with in the background type of shit. They don't say a fucking word, or they just nod their head in agreement. Let's move out, and you see them lock and load their guns and shit like that. Like, it's a newer appreciation in that sense, where it's like it means a lot to me as a person that's playing it solo, as much as a person that's playing it co-op. Because again, to me that it goes a long way. Again, highbrow. Like I want these more high. I want more from these games where it's taxing, but come on now, get out of fucking 2010. Get out of 2002. We have these machines that this is quite possible. You could quite do that.
No, of course, but to me, it's more like how much can you, like, again, what does that add at the end of the day? That's what I mean. Like, for like what I mean is like look at Halo 5. They had all these characters with you. I knew who Blue Team was. It didn't work. Regardless, that lore was there. It didn't work. Like, that's what I mean. It literally does not matter. It is more than just that. To me, like, if the co-op is fun and it makes sense within the world, that's all that, to me personally, that's all that matters. But I think we should probably call it a day now. Yeah. Start
wrapping it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's like you said, we could keep talking about this all day, and trust me,
I could.
I definitely want to. I want to until like there's no fucking air in my lungs and Microsoft hears me.
Just give George a call and talk to him all night.
George stopped calling me. I mean, I did that one thing that he thought he'd like, and then he didn't like it.
I know that little trick, yeah. Same thing always.
Yeah, Jose's just been on top of me the whole time. I don't have enough room.
All right, so, yeah. George, you want to wrap this up? My kid is having a meltdown.
All right, that's been Halo Talk. And
we sabotaged this. You knew it was going to happen. Come on. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, but yeah, that's been our episode. If you want to get us with comments, questions, concerns, hit us up at neverreadystudios@gmail.com, or comment on our YouTube page, which is also, I believe, Never Ready Studios.
Never Ready channel on YouTube.
Yeah, Never Ready channel. Yes.
Never Ready channel, and on Twitter is NVRDY podcast.
Yes. I used to have
NVRDY.
Yeah. right, that's our show. Peace out.
Peace.
Folks.